do you stand by your reporting even though Doria happens to be in that pool?
Absolutely. I think I was being quite nice, really. Her mother's tried very hard to help her. I felt very sorry for her because it was very hard. When Meghan probably lost her temper or said something that she didn't like, that was the end of it, and she was going home and not coming back. This is what Meghan does. People help her a lot, whenever it is, and then she just gets fed up with them.
We know you're watching, Meghan. We know you're watching Doria. And you've just been exposed for telling lies yet again about the fact that you never know what's going on social media. You never know what's being written about you, because it's no coincidence that just hours after Angela Levin and I broadcast exclusive information about the secret war between mother and daughter, that Meghan produced a video showing Doria Ragland in her pool with the child who she claims no one is ever allowed to see. So, Meghan, we know what you're doing, but we also know that our reporting is accurate. And the fact that you are clapping back in this way doesn't change a thing. So before we get Angela Levin's response, let me just take you through the timeline. So this was Angela Levin's tweet last Sunday, where she posted Meghan Markle's secret war with mother Doria Ragland after Netflix dig, talking with Dan Wootton about how Meghan can't even work with her mother. Then within hours, the video came, resting dollface explaining Meghan just clapped back with an Instagram story or two. Someone is planting these headlines in the tabloids for her, in my opinion, Sunshine Sachs or Meghan herself. It keeps the blame on tabloids and gives her a reason to clap back. Now, what's significant, of course, is that this more aggressive approach has been taken the moment that Meghan Markle has re-signed with Sunshine Sachs, the famous Dirty Tricks PR agency. So here's a reminder of some of what Angela Levin revealed and that so upset Meghan Markle.
Very easygoing woman. She likes to see her friends, she likes to do yoga, and she's very easygoing. Well, Meghan got fed up with this because she wants her to do exactly what she wants when she tells her. And I think she got fed up with it. I mean, she was very, very helpful, sometimes there for 3 months, but she got fed up there because she felt that they were using her too much, going out, getting her to cook, go and buy the shopping. I mean, she's not a very young woman anymore. And although she would want to help, doing all that plus looking after 2 children is a lot of work. And Meghan doesn't want to do all the dog's body work, and she got cross with her mother because she wasn't there all the time when she wanted her. You see, she can't actually make a good relationship with anyone because she has to have it her way. It must be. And she gets very fed up if people don't immediately do what she wants. That's why she's had so many aides who leave. That's why, Harry's fed up. She just is a woman who thinks that she's the only person who can make decisions.
So, Angela Levin, you have been the first to reveal many months ago now the growth between Meghan Markle and Doria Ragland. Within hours of that video going live, we got this. We got this. There she is. Doria pictured in the pool with Lily. And then, of course, we got the dance and we got lots of other pictures of the children and images of the children, because that's what Meghan does when there's a headline out there that she doesn't like. But I guess the first question to ask, Angela, is do you stand by your reporting even though Doria happens to be in that pool?
Absolutely. I think I was being quite nice, really. I mean, she's been very, very difficult to deal with, as Meghan, and her mother's tried very hard to help her. She was always there when she was difficulties. She's come to help her with the cooking and all these things. But I think she got fed up when she had to do a very long several months And she actually does like to see her friends and get on with her own life as well. I mean, we didn't mention that Meghan calls her a free spirit, which some people find is quite unpleasant because she's not fixing everything into a certain time with certain dusters and everything like that. You know, she's very easygoing as with what she does, and she feels that she's had enough of it. She was there for the wedding very nicely, but she was there on her own. Meghan didn't get her a friend to sit next to her, and it was the king. Not he wasn't the king then, Prince Charles. She didn't know what to do at the end of it. She was looking forward, and she did look, for the first time I've seen, very, very disturbed. And he went up to her, and he had Camilla on one arm, her on the other arm, and she took them all down the stairs and out and spoke to her very nicely. What a charmer, I thought. Meghan's responsibility to have one of her friends sitting next to her. There was no other member of the family that she'd known, that Meghan had known. Not everyone was awful. And so she just didn't bother. So you can see from that how she behaves. I think it's very moving for a mother when their child gets married, you know, and this one was absolutely blinding. There we are, there's the picture, because, you know, there's your daughter, and she's going to be, you know, a princess. And I thought that it was very unkind, and I think that unkind slip has gone the way through. And Meghan did actually feel that she's got to stay in when they want to go out. She has to pop along and get some food. She has to cook it. She has to look after the children. Two small children can be extremely exhausting. And I think when Meghan probably lost her temper or said something that she didn't like, that was the end of it. And she was going home and not coming back.
Yeah, because Doria Ragland's 69 years old, and the suggestion she was spending much more time at the house than what she is now. But the fact that Meghan puts out one image or one video, I mean, lots of people are questioning, Angela, whether that was even a new video. A lot of people saying, actually, on Sunday, it wasn't warm enough in Montecito for them to be in the pool. We don't know that. We can't prove that. But certainly that is one of the tactics that Ms. Markle uses to
Yeah.
put out old social media videos when it suits her, right?
Yeah. But that doesn't make any difference to what I think. And to actually to get someone quick, hurry up, get in the water, you know, make sure that everyone thinks you're having a lovely time and this is what you do every Sunday. You know, I don't believe in that. I see things, I talk to people, I watch them very carefully. And as you know, I like to sort of work them out and make up my mind what's going on. And I felt very sorry for her because it was very hard. She was extremely good in a whole different world for her. And she was there to help Meghan a lot. And this is what Meghan does. People help her a lot, whenever it is. And then she just gets fed up with them.
And also, Angela, this is now going to be much more part of the strategy now that Sunshine Sacks are formally back. Here's the confirmation of that from the Telegraph newspaper. Meghan rehires Hollywood crisis comms firm after a string of advisors walk out. And the key woman who has the relationship with Meghan is Keely Thomas Morgan. And the thing about Sunshine Sacks, Angela, is they're known for the dark arts of PR, aren't they? So we're going to see stunt after stunt after stunt. Meghan hoped she was going to be able to wash her hands of these people, but the problem is no PR wanted to keep working for her in-house. So we are going to see lots more stunts going forward, lots more dancing videos, lots more aggression, because that's what Sunshine Sacks do.
Well, what I feel and what I'm worried about, whether she will use them, very strong people, and that she would try and beat Catherine and William, which is why they've got someone in who is quite a strong person. But that's my worry. They will go somewhere first. They will find out what they can take over. I think it's going to be the most upsetting and horrible a race to deal with it. And I think that Catherine and William will certainly work hard to handle it. But I mean, they've got a lot to do. And I think that the pair of them can be so nasty that it's going to be very, very difficult. That's my view.
Yeah, very much. And Angela, we should just remind everyone, of course, that there's total hypocrisy in terms of Meghan Markle's new PR stunts. I mean, as according to Taz said, you have to admit it's pretty impressive hypocrisy to talk about how you escaped royal life for privacy, didn't want to be on the Truman Show, your children in a fishbowl, yet we see more personal and intimate moments on her Instagram feed than we ever see of royals. And of course, Angela, to me, it was very telling that the moment all of these new picture drops happened, the moment that we saw video of Archie and an animal, for example, was the moment Harry left the country.
Yeah, she always does something that he lets the country and he leaves the country, doesn't she? Because say she wants to prove that she's being a great mother while he's away and that everything's fine. Secondly, she wants to do some of the things that he probably would actually say, please don't do that. So she just does it because he's not there. Take advantage of his absence.
And of course, Angela, even though you were the first to report it, the reason that we'd actually made the video last week is because Radar Online had gone public with lots more detail about what was going on between Doria Ragland and Meghan Markle. Some of it is worth repeating because it was this use of the term free spirit, as you pointed out, and a source close to the Sussexes said the wording was deliberate, with an insider adding on the face of it, it sounded warm, but among those who know them, it came across as a quiet step back, signaling that Meghan and Doria have very different ideas about parenting and family. Another added it came across less as praise and more as a subtle point of difference. They also said that the living arrangement between Doria and Meghan has now ended for good, with another source saying Doria was once a regular fixture in the household, closely involved in caring for the children with Meghan and Harry, but she is no longer living there, and people around them have taken note. A television insider even said that it was totally planned, the fact that they'd used this line against Doria. One television insider said everyone involved knew that each personal remark would be scrutinised, and the language around Meghan's mother drew notice for setting Meghan up as a deliberate, highly organised parent in contrast to a more free-spirited Doria. So, look, all of this, I think, is very clear. We know exactly what she was doing. It was choreographed. She doesn't like the truth. And it's also pretty grim. It's pretty grim, Meghan, to be using your mother, who has made it clear that she doesn't want to be used, that she doesn't want to be part of this constant bid for attention, as a social media pawn. But no wonder, Angela, the latest YouGov figures show that Meghan has actually remained, in the UK at least, the least popular member, with her popularity dipping to its lowest level ever. Angela, so the whole idea that this can be turned around seems to be for the birds, because actually it's getting worse.
It is. Let me just say one more thing that I feel does make it the worst. That now those two children don't have any family around them at all. They had their grandma, so they could be close to her. But there's no one. There's no uncle. There's no anybody there. You know, she doesn't see any family on either side or on Harry's sides. And that upsets me terribly because I think small children need family. And I think that to not let them have anything, all your friends are not there for you all the time. A parent and a grandparent is always there for you. Well, I don't mean, you know, somebody who's just been talking to all the newspapers at the moment. But I think that, you know, children do need a family, and it's tragic that they're not allowed to do that.
More bad news for Meghan Markle this week, Angela, but what I would say is that the mainstream media need to keep up, because here you were revealing the information about Doria before anyone else. And of course, I was the first person to reveal long ago many weeks ago, many months ago, that there will be no season 3 of With Love Meghan, her flop Netflix series. But the mainstream media finally going with this story, which I broke weeks ago. It was the New York Post, and they quoted sources. They do have some interesting detail, though, Angela, about the fact that Meghan just refuses to accept that it's a dead duck and is now pitching new specials for Valentine's Day and for Thanksgiving. So let me just take you through it. Sarah Nathan, the editor-at-large of the New York Post, wrote, Meghan Markle's heavily promoted lifestyle show With Love Meghan won't be returning to Netflix, multiple sources told Page Six, after the Duchess called the show a lot of work. It's not returning as a series. There have been conversations about holiday specials, but there's nothing in the works yet, said one insider. Sources say that Markle will instead concentrate on building her lifestyle brand as ever. People will see similar cooking and crafting on Meghan's socials for the brand, but more bite-sized, one said. Meghan has now pitched several holiday specials, including July the 4th and Valentine's Day, and a source said the hope is to make them. Well, clearly they've rejected her for Valentine's Day, Angela, because, I mean, that's just a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks away, so she's not going to be able to turn that around in time. But look, this was confirmation of what we had long ago reported, right? Netflix are just done with her.
Yeah, but what she does is that both of them do this. When something happens, they pretend it hasn't happened. And they then go and do odd things or say other things or dance or anything else, but they don't accept or stop to accept what's happened. They pretend it hasn't, because that way she can keep going and people will still like her. And who knows, it can just go marvelously up in the air and everything will be fine. But if you watch very carefully, it's always after something negative has happened, that has stopped, that she then makes up a whole story that's going to happen. You know, they're going to buy houses, they're going to go to another part of where they live. And, you know, there's all these exciting stories that actually never make it. And that's because she has to be seen to win. And when she doesn't win, she makes it up that she is winning. But we know, I know, you know, that it's not true.
No, indeed. Angela, some other big royal stories this week, which we must get to. Eugenie apparently cutting off all contact with Andrew Mountbatten Windsor over the Epstein scandal. This from Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large of the Mail on Sunday, who says it's in wake of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. He's said to be devastated at the estrangement from his younger daughter. It's understood Eugenie is refusing to speak to Andrew, did not visit him at Christmas. Remember, she established the Anti-Slavery Collective to help counter sex trafficking, said to be taking a dim view of her father's refusal to apologise to Epstein's victims. A source told the Mail on Sunday the rift is like that between the Beckhams and Brooklyn Beckham. There is no contact at all, nothing. It's Brooklyn Beckham level. She has completely cut him off. Meanwhile, sources say her older sister Beatrice is taking a nuanced approach by trying to remain in contact with her father and maintaining her reputation in the royal family. Beatrice invited Andrew to the christening of her 11-month-old daughter Athena in London last month, but perhaps tellingly, he did not attend a party held afterwards in a local pub. It's not clear whether Eugenie spoke to her father at the celebration. Angela, this is very interesting to me because Beatrice and Eugenie always stood by their father, so what's changed now?
I think she's had enough. I think it was just too much. And she just doesn't want to accept that she's the daughter of somebody who is still having a rather disgusting time. And I think that she actually as well, I'm sure she would have talked to her husband, Jack. I think things are very different once the young women get married, a very happy marriage. And instead of just saying, you know, daddy, this and that, they discuss it with their husband to see if it's the right thing to do. And Jack is a very good man and he looks after her. And I'm not saying he has, I'm not saying he will, but actually you tend to talk to somebody like that who can really help you. And she doesn't want her name taken with that. I mean, she's very close to King Charles, and she's a very good person who wants to do good. Now, she's not going to look as if she does good if she's got a father who's behaved so badly, and her mother, I'm afraid. If you remember, just a few weeks ago, it was that her mother would actually stay with them in a nice room, and that's not happening anymore. She didn't want to, and I think that Eugenie also decided that it wasn't appropriate, and they didn't want another Meghan's mother there. But that's a joke. I don't laugh. But I think that it's just that she's now got to do her life in an honourable way, and she doesn't want to be associated with how they've behaved. I mean, it is really, really shocking. Really, it's terrible. And if your child is shocked by this, they shouldn't have to pretend that you're still lovely and you're very interesting and come for dinner and let's all have a lovely time. You just don't want to do that anymore. You've grown out of it.
Indeed, Angela, on a much lighter note, Prince William in the headlines this week because he has
Yeah.
been banned from using his beloved e-scooter now that he's moved into
Yes.
his new home on Windsor Great Park. Apparently, he's completely accepted this decision, Angela. He's following the rules, but this from the royal editor of The Sun, Matt Wilkinson, who reports Prince William has been barred from using his e-scooter. The future king not allowed to whiz around on the two-wheeler. Now he, Kate and the children have set up in Forest Lodge. An insider said William used to love his e-scooter to get around the castle as there was no ban, but of course he's more than happy and prepared to adhere to the rules on e-scooters in Windsor Great Park. What do you think, Angela? Because he loved it. Remember, he rolled up to the interview with Eugene Levy on his e-scooter, but here are the rules.
I think that that's taking a rule too far.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to do. If he wants to go on it, he'd be very careful. He's not going to go swinging into the grass. I think that that's fine. The fact that he's agreed, I'm astonished. Really, it's very, very nice of him. But I think it's a pretty mingy thing. You know, it's going to be our king. You can't stop him doing that. And it's not that he needs to show everybody else that this is the way to do it. This is a man who's all over the place. He's got to do lots and lots of things, and time is tight. And he will be very, very careful. I feel that that's pretty awful. What do you feel?
Yeah, I think it's totally over the top.
Good.
Let him ride his scooter for God's sake. And why should he have to follow those rules? Rules like that are made to be broken, Angela, in my view. And then the other really lovely moment of the week, and it really is just worth seeing their interaction, Angela, because aren't they brilliant? Zara and Mike Tyndall. Zara, of course, the daughter of Princess Anne. Huge stars in Australia, Angela. I was in Australia for CPAC Australia in October, and I went into one of my favourite stores called Country Road. It's a bit of a clothing store and a country themed. And the woman behind the counter said to me, honestly, Dan, Zara Tyndall is always here. We love her in Australia. She's the nicest woman. She's so down to earth. And I just loved the banter between the Australian host and Zara and Mike. It's worth just watching. Look at this.
Very accustomed to seeing in January on the Gold Coast, Zara Tyndall and husband Mike. 15 years, Zara. It's been fun getting to know you. What have you loved this week?
Everything. There's so much going on. We love being a part of it. Galloping down the beach.
How many goals on Sunday in the polo, please?
2.
How many rails dropped in the show jumping?
Oh, it's clear.
All
Are you,
clear.
you're making me look good.
Well,
Yeah.
it's hard.
You just teed her up to say what do you most looking forward to coming down here, and obviously you are a highlight of our trip, and she missed that goal, but then you've picked her back up. That's why you're the best, Hamish. That is why you're the best.
I want you, Mike, to be as honest with Australia as you possibly can about Jerry's golf. And don't sugarcoat anything. Going into the bush, what will he come out with?
There is no sugarcoat. So going into the bush, which is up where he predominantly puts his ball, you're guaranteed he's going to come out with 3 lacerations on his shins, 5 balls, and somehow he managed to find 10 tees. It's an incredible feat.
He will go into a bush, even if he hasn't hit it in there. He said, this will be a ball-rich bush, come out with balls that are not his, and maybe a snake, put it in its golf bag and say, well, play on.
What you don't know is that they're his balls from the last 10 times he's played without you.
That's just so natural. Too much talk of balls, though, but it wasn't over. Keep watching.
Yeah.
So we ran out of the, he's a very generous man. He buys us a box of Titleist every time we go. And but somehow we managed to get through those balls quite quickly on the golf course. Anyway, I stole his car yesterday to go to Harvey Norman to buy our daughter a birthday present. And I found 3 of those Titleist balls in his car. So he'd even stopped. He was like, I am wasting money giving these balls to my partner. So I'm going to put them in. I was like, the cheeky man.
You staying in
You won
Queensland
though,
for a
right?
while, or heading? Hey, we did win. Jerry and I beat Nacho and Mike.
That's such a shock.
But it's impossible to lose when Jerry is doing the Harvey system of scoring.
Yeah.
We'll have 6, they'll have 3, and somehow we win the hole. You staying around for a while?
No, we're going back home tomorrow. It's kind of start of our busy time, and I've got a few competitions this year, and the kids. There's a lot going on with the kids.
Birthday, so we need to get home.
Well,
We need to get
I
home.
won't
She's not
keep
very
you.
happy.
You
She's
go
not
and
very
jump on
happy.
a plane.
Hopefully we can get some winners, and I'll take some cash home to her.
We love having you down. It's always a
Oh,
pleasure to
thank
spend
you.
time with you both.
Well, thank you for having us again.
Can't wait till next year.
Oh, Angela, like just
What's
great.
lovely? What's lovely is that you can see they really adore each other.
Yeah.
And they're so natural with each
And they
other.
have fun with each other.
They have fun and they crack jokes and they all that sort of thing. And you can read it, can't you? It's very, very easy. They're very, very happy. They also happen to be very, very rich. 30 million they're worth. I looked it up before I spoke to you. But I think they're lovely. They make you feel better. And they get on very well with their mother, who you think would be quite strict, but she's not. She's a very loving mother. Zara said once that her mother was the best mother she could ever know and has been wonderful. Oh, that's a lovely thing to say as well, isn't it? So she's a very open, happy girl. And Mike has got very well into the royal family. Now, you think, say, Meghan trying to get into the royal family, it's a disaster. But Mike cracks jokes, very nice, dresses properly, and they're very, very happy together. 3 kids. They wanted a son, 2 girls, and then they've got a son. They're absolutely thrilled, and it's lovely, and you feel happy when you look at them.
Absolutely you do. Absolutely you do. It was a lovely way to end what has been a massive royal week. Angela Levin, our royal mastermind, thank you so much. And of course, if you do want first access to all of our royal coverage here on Outspoken.
Tensions within the United Kingdom's Labour Party have intensified sharply in recent days amid fresh controversy over the potential return to national politics of Andy Burnham, the long-serving mayor of Greater Manchester and prominent Labour figure. At the heart of the storm is speculation that Mr. Burnham could position himself as an alternative leader to the sitting Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, a development that has set off warnings about internal strife and a possible leadership challenge. Mr. Burnham's political ambitions have become the focus of attention after he signalled his intention to seek selection as the Labour candidate for the upcoming parliamentary contest in the Gorton and Denton constituency. His return to the House of Commons would be a necessary step toward any bid to lead the party, since current party rules require leadership contenders to be sitting members of Parliament. However, the Labour Party's ruling National Executive Committee has moved quickly to block Mr. Burnham from standing in that contest, a move widely interpreted as an effort to protect the Prime Minister's leadership position. In a meeting of senior party officials, the committee voted against granting him permission to run, citing concerns about the logistical complications of a mayoral by-election and the risk of fracturing the party's unity. Critics, though, argue that the decision reflects a broader attempt by Sir Keir's allies to limit internal dissent. The dispute has exposed deep divisions within Labour ranks. Some prominent members have expressed support for Mr. Burnham's bid, casting him as a popular voice with a track record of grassroots appeal. Others say that opening the door to a high-profile leadership challenge could damage the party's prospects in future national elections, particularly at a time when Labour is grappling with waning public support in some areas and rising competition from other political forces. Observers point out that the roots of this tension go deeper than the most recent by-election controversy. Mr. Burnham has long been viewed within Labour circles as a potential leadership figure, having twice previously stood for the top job without success. In recent months, he has publicly suggested that a wholesale change in direction is required if his party is to remain competitive and responsive to public concerns. He has described growing frustration among lawmakers and grassroots members over issues such as public services and economic policy, further feeding speculation that he could one day seek to replace Sir Keir. Despite all the speculation, Mr. Burnham himself has emphasised that his priority is to serve in elected office and bring his experience back to the national stage, rather than to directly undermine the current government. He has written to party officials, assuring them that his intention would be to support the Labour administration if elected. At the same time, he has stopped short of ruling out a future challenge altogether, saying only that it is too early to predict what might happen. Senior figures in the party leadership have sought to calm the situation by stressing the importance of unity and cautioning against internal conflict. They argue that public disagreements at the top of Labour risk playing into the hands of political opponents and could erode voter confidence. At the same time, critics within the party believe that denying a popular figure like Mr. Burnham a path back to Parliament is likely to fuel resentment and could lead to further factional disputes. What is clear is that the leadership question remains highly sensitive. Whether Andy Burnham will remain a prominent critic from the outside or eventually position himself as a direct challenger to Sir Keir Starmer depends on a number of political decisions yet to unfold within Labour's internal structures. For now, the episode highlights the fragility of party unity and the challenges facing Labour as it seeks to balance competing ambitions with electoral strategy.